You know what I realized recently? Most of us don't fail because we're lazy. We fail because we keep trying to change our entire lives in one single heroic moment. And the irony is this: the more dramatic the change we attempt, the less likely we are to stay in it. Rarely do we pause long enough to notice that it isn't our goals that exhaust us, it is the weight of expectations we build around them. For years, I fell into this exact pattern. I kept promising myself grand transformation. This year, I'm going to fix everything. This year, I'm going to be disciplined. This year, I'm going to reinvent myself. But each time I slipped, even just a little, it felt like failure. And once something feels like failure, we start running from it. Looking back, I realized something almost embarrassing. I wasn't lacking discipline. I was lacking strategy and gentleness and patience. If there's one truth I've learned, it is that we don't abandon our habits because they're hard. We abandon them because we make them heavy. Then one day something small shifted. I read a book called Tiny Experiment by the neuroscientist Anla Lakonis. It didn't tell me to overhaul my life or to wake up at 4 a.m. or simply turn into some robotic version of myself. It simply said, start ridiculously small. And that line stayed with me longer than I expected because it reminded me of what Carl Jung once wrote. We become our habits, not our intentions. Intentions are beautiful, yes, but intentions don't take you to the gym. Intentions don't open the book. Intentions don't build a routine. Habits, quiet, boring, and gentle habits. Only when we simplify our life do things finally begin to make sense. So I changed my approach. I stopped trying to transform myself in a single chapter and I started entering through small doors. A small door into fitness was simply searching for 2 calm minutes. A small door into reading was opening a book and reading half a page, not a full chapter. A small door into creativity was recording one messy idea, not filming a whole perfect video. A small door into mindfulness was standing still for 30 seconds before rushing into my day. And when you enter through small doors, something magically happens. Your life begins shifting quietly, gently, almost without resistance. Because the truth is this: your brain doesn't hate habits, it hates sudden change. But here's the part that truly changed everything for me. I learned to anchor my habits. The anchor method is almost deceptively simple. Instead of telling myself I must do this at 7 a.m. or I will do this every night, you attach the habit to something you already do. Something familiar, something automatic. It looks like this. After I boil water in the morning, I stretch for 2 minutes. After I brush my teeth, I read one single page. After I wash my face, I check my to-do list. After I open my laptop, I write 3 quiet sentences. Anchors work because they ride on top of an existing rhythm. They don't require the motivation, they don't require discipline. They simply flow with what you already do. And the moment a habit becomes anchored to something that naturally repeats in your life, you no longer need to force it. You just follow the current. Small anchors create big stability, and rarely do we realize it. But structure doesn't limit life, it frees it. It is not so much the habit itself as the person you slowly become through it. A 2 minute stretch does not change your body, but showing up for yourself changes your identity. A page of reading does not make you smart, but returning to it every day turns you into someone who reads. A 3 sentence journal does not solve your life, but it teaches you to listen to yourself again. Consistency is not created by intensity. It is created by familiarity, by gentle repetition, by doing something small in a world that keeps asking for something big. And sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest influence. I didn't expect this method to work as well as it did, but honestly, this is the first time in my life that my habit feels natural, effortless, almost quiet. Reading no longer feels like homework, it feels like a breath between moments. And content creation doesn't feel like pressure, it feels like curiosity again. When you remove the drama, the habit finally has space to grow. When you remove the guilt, the habit finally has room to stay. I came across a line the other day: we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our system. It hit me hard because it reminded me of how often we blame ourselves for what our system could never support. And another line I love from Marcus Aurelius: the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Your soul takes on the color of what you repeat, not the color of what you imagine, not the color of what you dream, but the color of what you return to day after day. So if you're listening to this right now and you're trying to start new habits, or rebuild your life, or simply find the rhythm again, don't start with intensity, start with an anchor. Tie one tiny action to something you already do and give yourself permission to begin. Because here's something I've learned the hard way. Life doesn't change in single moments. Life changes in small, almost invisible steps that no one sees but you. And slowly, without noticing, you become someone steadier, someone more grounded, someone more confident in their own reading. If you're watching this, maybe this is a small dot today. Not a transformation, not a major decision, just one anchor. Choose something tiny, tie it to something familiar, and begin. Because if there is one truth that keeps returning to me, it is this: you don't need a new life, you just need a new reading. And reading begins with a small door, a gentle anchor, and a very quiet beginning.